Hi, friends, and welcome back. Roofers don't fire bookkeepers because of QuickBooks mistakes. Roofers fire bookkeepers because they don't know the numbers. They don't know what those numbers mean. So I don't want you to get in that situation. You want to be able to explain the numbers, the profit and loss, the customer job costing to a roofer or a contractor to make sure that they know what their profit was on the jobs, what they're averaging on the jobs, so they can make wise decisions of how they need to increase their profits, how they need to increase their pricing, or they have to really look at how much advertising they're doing or their overhead to see what they need to start cutting. And it will really depend too on the time of the year that they're looking at those. Like in October, all the way now through March or April, a lot of roofers will be in their cold season. So we won't have as many roofs to do during that time because of snow and weather and that type of thing. In Texas, we roof all year long, so it doesn't particularly affect us here in Texas or in some of the southern states. But up north, it does. In Maine, in Minnesota, in Ohio, it does affect when you're looking at from April or May all the way through October. That is roofing's busy season, so everybody's pretty well going to be busy during that time. January, you'll have a lot of things to do because we have to do 1099s. We have to get W-2s out. We've got to clean up all the books, make our final adjustments and things like that so that they can file their taxes. So that's what we're going to be looking at today, is how to generate the reports that you can decipher for the client, for the roofing company or contractor. And so this is really important because a lot of times when someone looks at a profit and loss, they don't know what all those number means. All they're going to say is, oh, what is my profit margin? What is my net profit? What am I making per job? That's always the big question. So we're going to dive lightly into that today. Nothing too hard, but you'll totally understand it. It's really very simple. Before we dive into it, I do want to remind you of the free resources I have for you. Our Roofing Bookkeeping Hub, which has YouTube videos in there. It's totally free. There's some training. There's a community, and I invite you to introduce yourself into that community. And I would just love to meet you. But we're there to help each other, help encourage each other, share all of our experiences and things that are working for us and things that aren't working for us. We help you take that leap into starting your own bookkeeping business. And if you would like a free call with me, go to certifiedroofbookkeeper.com, and I would love to speak with you on the phone and get your strategy down and help you get to a six-figure income doing bookkeeping for roofing contractors. I just look forward to working with you. Let's get into our video for today. And so we're going to go over all the different types of reports that we can pull up and that can help you and help the roofing contractor. So we're going to get into that. Okay, here we are in our old reliable dashboard here. The first place that we find these reports is actually going to be, we can take a look when we come in here, and it's going to give us some indication to like going to accounting. And then we've been working in projects. So you could come to the projects here. And then you could see all the projects that have been completed, the ones that are still being worked on. If you don't see any cost on these projects, it means that everything hasn't been calculated in there. Those aren't complete. Like for this one for Jill Smith, we could actually put this mark as completed. Then it doesn't show here any longer. But you can always go and find it. You can click here and then even show deleted projects. Nothing there, so we'll unclick that. But you can search for the project here, in progress, or you could go to completed and then it'll show it right there. It's an easy way to get to it, or all status, just everybody. So that's the first place I would be looking. The next thing that I want to do, I want to come down to our bank transactions. And I want to go over a few of these with you today so you would know how to do this. First, let's go to what we have in our savings account here. Now, QuickBooks, anytime you see paired to another transaction, we can click on that and it'll show us what it's paired to. So it's paired to Wells Fargo, our checking account, and that's correct. So we'll click Add. And then it says it's found 2 matches here for this transfer. This is a transfer from our checking into our savings. Okay, so we'll click on that. And that is a payment. That's not what we want to do because this says internet. So we're going to click categorize and then record as transfer. Then we'll check the checking account that it's going to, and then we'll click add. Okay. And then internet here, we're going to record as a transfer into our checking. Add that. This one, we're going to record as a transfer. This is just transfers in between checking and savings. So it doesn't have any impact on your profit and loss or a balance sheet. Now we're going to go to the Wells Fargo checking account, and we got a couple deposits there, but always scroll down to see anything that's matched up. Okay, so this says a transfer. This is a good one to show you. So when I open that up, it says Google. So this wasn't that transfer. So we need to click categorize. We'll add Google. We'll click save. Okay. And then we will put Google, because we want to keep track of how much we're spending on Google Ads, because roofers spent a lot of money with Google. This is their source of getting all their jobs. So we have Google, and this would be expense account. We'll do expense, not other expense, but expense, advertising and promotional. That's correct. We'll just have it as Google. I'm going to put it 6005. Okay. So we'll click save. And it isn't tied to any customer. It's just an overhead cost. And it really isn't tied to a territory. We could put here, add new, and just put office. We'll just put overhead. Okay. And then just click save for that. And then class here. We'll actually make this as overhead as well. We'll add overhead. Just save that. Okay, and we have Google down here. So that's what it was for, and we'll click add. Okay. Now we'll see if QuickBooks matched anything else up. I don't see any green, so they didn't. So now easy savings rebate. So here we just put rebate. We'll add that because we won't have any of these vendors in right now. Okay. So this one, we'll put rebate. We'll have to add new, this is an income account. This money coming in. We'll put credit card rebate. I'll do the rebate first. Credit card. I'm putting in some of these so you'll see how they show up on a profit and loss. Let's be income. Then other primary income. Make this a sub account of construction sales. And I'm going to make this like 4010. So it leaves me a lot of room to add income accounts. No product or service. Our territory is just overhead. Our class is overhead. And this is what you as a bookkeeper will be doing a lot of, is just going through these transactions. Namecheap, that is like where you buy domains. We'll add that. And here, what we want to put in is branding, website. We'll add a new account. That's just asset expense. That could stay under advertising. So we'll click save. And then territory, once again, overhead, class, overhead. Save that one. Let me see any different ones we have. Let's see, Facebook. We can add Facebook. Save. Here we do a lot with Facebook, so I'm going to categorize that to having its own account. So we'll go Facebook. Then we can't give it that account number yet. So expense, advertising. Let's save that one. Add. Oh, we didn't select a class, so QuickBooks will tell you that. So overhead, territory, overhead. So we don't overlook anything, and add that. Okay, now what I'm going to do to show you how the chart of accounts works with this, go to accounting. We'll open this up, and we're going to go to chart of accounts. Here, I want to create a new account called operations and overhead. We won't put any expenses directly into this account. All of our expenses will be sub-accounts of this account. Okay, so this is expenses. Here. You can just leave it as that. And we won't make this a sub-account, but we'll click save. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want each one of our accounts to have a number. So accounts receivable, we're going to make this 1210. And that won't be a sub-account. Inventory assets, just make this 1401. Save that. Our undeposited funds, that will make 1200. And we already have all of these accounts here. We put the wrong one on that. Put a 1 instead of a 4. So we can always correct that. Just go into it and correct it. Okay. So now we have our income accounts. That we're not using billable expense. I'm just going to give these some numbers because QuickBooks won't let us delete these. So we'll put that 4901, so it won't hardly show up anywhere. Discounts. We could put this 4011 or income. And we can put that under our construction income. Save that. Sales of product income. Let's just make this like 4,300 because we don't really sell products. But QuickBooks wants us to have that. Okay. Unapplied cash payments. We'll make that a 4,301. Okay. Now we have our cost of goods. All that looks good. Our operations and overhead. Now, one other thing we want to do, go into new account, and we're going to put in advertising. And I'm going to name this account 6001. But you'll be learning these account numbers. It's a lot of this. As you're doing it like so many times, you really will remember everything. Okay, advertisement promotion. And this is a sub-account now of our operations and overhead. Okay, so we'll just click save there. Just keep on scrolling down. Now we have our Google. You click this drop-down box, run report, the drop-down, edit. And we're going to make this a sub-account of our start typing in, see if it pull it up. Sometimes it doesn't pull up all the accounts when we first do it. Advertising, Google. I didn't spell that correctly. Put some extra letters in there. You can always change everything. Now you have Google. We have our Facebook. We're going to click edit. Make that a sub-account of that 6001. That's why you want like all of your accounts to have a number so you can easily refer to them. We need an account number for that one. We'll click save there. Our bank charges, say we just make this 6050. Make this a sub-account of our operations. Save that. Branding website, add it. And we make this actually a sub-account of our advertising. Save that one. We had the duplicate number already, so take the next number, 6007. There you go. And I don't want to keep this purchases, so let's make it active. Okay. So now we have a few accounts here. So that gives us a little bit to work on there. I'm going to refresh the screen here. So all of our numbers show up. And when you go back to bank transactions, let's see, anything else we could put in here. Our name cheap, we can do that again. And that is the branding. You can just start typing and QuickBooks will find that for you. Territory is your overhead. Your class will be your overhead. Add that one. Let's see. I think we haven't account for that yet. Or that. Here, QuickBooks has found a match for this 500, but that is actually an add and not a transfer. So we've got to categorize that. And that is Google again. We'll click that. Then just start typing. Just start typing Google. We'll click that one. Then we'll go to overhead. Then class. We'll go to overhead and add that one. Okay. We have a Google here. Type in Google. Right there. I'm just trying to get some numbers for you to show on your profit and loss of some different things. So, easy savings rebate. We can type in rebate. Got it there. Type in rebate. Got it right there. Territory overhead. Class overhead. Add that one. Okay, we have all these Facebooks. So Facebooks, we know is Facebook. Territory is overhead. Class is overhead. Add that. And here, what we can do with Facebook, since we're going to have a lot of these, click on Facebook, our territory overhead, our class overhead, and we are going to copy this memo, Facebook. Just right-click that and then click copy. Create a rule, and then paste the name of the rule there. And then money out, it comes out of any bank account. So I want to change that to all bank accounts, no matter what card we charge it on. Okay, and it has everything already in there. Also keep existing bank memo. We want to, this is really important, automatically confirm transactions this rule applies to. We want to cut that off because we want to be able to see everything. Now, QuickBooks automatically matches it up here. So you can click on it and then you can just confirm that's Facebook and add. But now you can just add each one because you know that's working. Supply house. What we could do with this one is click supply house. And then we will put materials. Then we can choose one of our jobs for this. Say this is for 2532 job. This would be North Austin, wherever that job happens to be. And it's a cost of goods. So we can add that. Let's see. Say this active plumbing. Do active plumbing. Can add that. And that would be, say it's a contractor. Okay. That's our contractors. Territory North Austin. Class cost of goods. Say this went to the Joe Smoke job too. We want to make sure and connect that. Add. Okay, we've got this maintenance fee. So we could say Wells Fargo. With Wells Fargo, add Wells Fargo. And then we can do our bank, charges, overhead, classes, overhead. Save that. Now QuickBooks has found matches for all these transfers. So we're going to click on transfer. This is Google. It's not a transfer. We'll just match that up. The class is overhead. Some of it QuickBooks will intuitively match up for you. So we've got a good bit of that. Like Home Depot, that could be to some of our jobs. We want to make sure we get those out before we run anything. This would be materials. This would be South Austin or North Austin and our cost of goods. Say this is the Joe Smoke project. I'm going to add that. And let's see what we can pull up. We have quite a few in here. So now let's go back to our projects because we put some in for Joe Smoke. So now you'll see more in here. Joe Smoke, now it's at 97. We put 193.12 in expenses. So as you go through the bank feed, more things will go to your projects. So now we want to come over to the left-hand side to reports. Just go to standard reports. And now we have accounts aging summary with a star by it, which shows us our favorite. Balance sheet, profit and loss. We want to do this profit and loss by customer. So we'll choose those. So let's just go to a regular profit and loss. We would click on there. And you would be doing this every month. And I switch this little button here to classic view. Click that. Now we're going to do for the whole year. We'll switch it to cash and run our report. And this is the feedback that you would be giving your customer. How much they had in sales, what their job cost was, total cost of goods $394. So their gross profit was $26,000. So you know this $26,000 is more, it isn't too much difference between the $27,000. So you know there's a lot more material and expenses that have to go into this. But then we have our expenses, our overhead, and this is where you would see your overhead charges, total expenses $29.51.11. Then this would be your net income, which is your sales minus your operations and your overhead and your cost of goods. That's how that comes up. Now let's go to what we have, our profit and loss by customers, but your numbers would look better once you get all of your bank feed in. So we'll just do all dates for this, cash, and then run report. Okay, so now here we have our customers like Jill Smith. Just under her name had sales of 600. Under job 2531 had 12,000. Under job 2533, 1,000. The total for Jill Smith was 13,600. And we had those cash customers. And then any costs we had for job materials, contractors, or fuels, this is where we assign the expenses to the different jobs. So this is like really helpful for you, where you can tell a roofing company, how much profit they made per job, because you have your gross profit, 450, 600, 12,000. This one, 798.15. We had income $1,000, and then those costs. That's how you would take a look at this. And then you can see your overhead as well. So you can see your total overhead was 2951.11. What I do with the overhead, they have $5,000 a month in overhead, and they do 10 jobs a month. Take 5,000 divided by 10, and that's going to be their overhead for every job is going to be $500. So for instance, this 798.15 after the overhead was $500, so they made $398.15. So if we take 398.15 divided by $1,000, the revenue, then they made about 39%. So this is going a little bit deep, but that's how you would help them read their profit and loss. So I hope that helped you understand that, but that is how we'll go through our bank transactions and how we get to our profit and loss. In between that, we would be doing some reconciling of our bank accounts to make sure all of our numbers match before we're preparing the profit and loss. We went through the whole process here in this 8 series video. And so I hope you really have enjoyed that. And to help you with it until we get our first roofing client, we're practicing. Those of you that already have bookkeeping clients, then you can take this information and then implement it right away for yourselves. I thank you for being here, and I've enjoyed our 8-part series, and I hope you have too. But remember to check out all the resources that I do have, the Roofing Bookkeeping Hub, which is absolutely free. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Take care and see you soon.